Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's a boy Selector Brew with Alex D Elite, aka the Deluxe Package. We are here
Yes.
going live, talking about everything in the world of wrestling around the world and here from our hometown, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna just jump into it because the whole world was a buzz, some positive, some negative, about the dream match this week. And I just finished watching it right now. So it's fresh on my mind. Did you watch it? First off.
Yes, I did. I watched all of Dynamite last night, but yeah.
Oh, you caught it full through? I watched it
Yes.
half yesterday, half today.
Okay.
So first off, I want to know your thoughts on this dream match before I give mine. I want to see what level of what we're
Yeah.
seeing eye to eye.
Sure. I think it was a hell of a match. Obviously, no, it's not for everyone. Lots of flips, lots of dives, lots of insane moves. But to be honest, I knew who El Higo del Vikingo was. I've seen a few matches of his in the past. I've seen him highlight videos.
So
So
pause right there. That was gonna be my first question. What is since this is a dream match for the people that know only because they don't tell you. You do the honors because you always are great at this. Give me what is the, let's say, history, the little history,
Yeah.
big points that would make this a dream match.
Sure. Well, actually, Excalibur did touch upon it on Rampage, and there was last week there was a short, maybe minute video package, and throughout the night they kept telling you why this was a dream match. So let's ignore all the bad Twitter, bad
No,
faith
I'm,
takes.
I'm not
But-
talking about.
No, I
I'm
know, I
going
know.
in this non-Twitter,
Yeah, that's fair.
non-wrestling world. I'm coming this, as you know, AEW Dynamite watcher
Yeah.
for like since the beginning. So
Sure. Yeah,
I
so
don't know what this guy is, so I'm seeing it dream match, right? So you
Yeah.
either have to do your homework or you have to have seen Rampage. Well,
Yeah.
so what is it? What is their history? Did they ever fight? First off,
No, that's the thing. They were supposed
yeah.
to wrestle.
in AEW or in like AAA
No,
or something?
in AAA. This match was announced in I think December 2021. It was announced for the Mega Campione. That's the Mega Championship that El Higo del Vikingo is champion now. But at the time, Kenny Omega was champion, and that's the thing that this is a title that Kenny Omega has worn in AEW, so we know this. Like, it's not when he was the belt collector, that was one of the titles that he had. So it's a title that's familiar to the AEW. But this match was announced as the main event for the Triple Mania in December 2021.
Okay.
But Kenny Omega obviously couldn't wrestle that match because due to his injuries, the many injuries that he had, like after his match at Full Gear when he lost to Hangman Page, is when he basically canceled all his bookings because he had to get, A to Z, all the surgeries, the rehab that he needed. So this match, you could say it was, a year and a half in the making. So that's why, and they had the hype that was building up to it a year and a half ago. Like it was a huge match then for those in the know. Like if you follow AAA or you follow Kenny Omega, like this was, to people that like professional wrestling or like that style of professional wrestling, it is a dream match. It's not a dream match for everyone. That's fair. But it is a marketing thing at the same time.
Look, first off, shout out to the guys in the chat, Robert Bowen, the anime manga satire. We're gonna get to your topic. The Goldberg one is a good one. We're gonna get that one. Like, let's just touch on this match and we'll go to that after. We'll finish up on this dream match. So you give it. That is a good backstory right there. It's like recent history. So before that though. So I understand it comes about because the title match never happened.
Yeah.
All right. So, but before that, did they ever have interactions or were they just scheduled to fight and they never fought?
I don't think they had any interactions. They were just scheduled, but
all right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's because one of my first critiques on mine, because like you said, the flips and first of all, the athletic shit, Vikingo, El Higo, we'll call him Hio just to go for the sake of it.
Or
Viking, the Viking son, the son of the Viking.
Yeah, exactly.
First off, athletic as fuck, sick. But just like the way the match started, the whole like him flying out of the ring right off the bat. Now I'm thinking, I'm watching the match as a story, the way it's supposed to be, right? Okay, they have to hate each other then, I guess, right? There has to be some history, which there isn't. So why would he just fucking come flying out of the ring? Why would they build it, fucking come in the ring? You know what I mean? Do a nice big like ref, like the way they do a big main event usually, make it a big match feel. They went right straight. But I'm only saying that because they did so much crazy shit so fast that you don't
Yeah.
even get to appreciate it, which leads you to
Well,
believe. Well, I don't. Did they? Is he all elite yet? Did they announce it
no,
yet
no,
or
I
no?
don't think he will be. He's signed with AAA and he's their champion, which is interesting politically because you would think that they would want to do the match first, AAA, since they announced it, but it could be like a way to mend the fences. Like it's been, it's no secret that AEW and AAA's relationship is a bit on edge in the past few months. There was the stuff with Dragon Lee and FTR that happened last year at the end of the year that put things on edge, but. So you would think that they would probably do a rematch now with Kenny Omega challenging Vikingo for the AAA Mega Campeón on a AAA show. That's what
Yeah.
I would have the rematch there. It's definitely going to sell out
Well,
arenas in Mexico for sure.
I'll give him credit because if that is indeed what happens, it'll make a little more sense because from an in ring watching it, no story in the match. It didn't work. No one's like working on an arm or an injury
Yeah, but
or just like
okay.
crazy shit. So there was no storytelling, just crazy display of athletics. So like 100%, like you said, it was a match of like just crazy shit the whole time, which doesn't let you register. Like I don't even
To an
remember everything
extent.
he did. The fucking guy,
Well,
he did so much crazy. You know what I
he
mean?
did, but that's the thing. Yeah.
But if it's a sample or like a taste of what this guy to draw you into watching a rematch in AAA, makes 100% sense. If it's they're gonna sign him for a run, like fucking trickle us a little some crazy shit as it goes along, so you want to see more of him. Like at this point, what more could this guy do in a ring?
Oh, he has more. He has more. Trust me.
Move what? Yeah,
This guy
okay.
can
Yeah,
do a
okay.
lot
Yes,
more.
I know, but exactly. Moves. A lot of moves. A lot of moves. Kenny Omega, I'm just gonna say because El Hijo, 100% props to him. I want to see more of him. No storytelling, but not his fault, right? Again, that's my only critique on the match because Kenny Omega did Kenny Omega stuff. But you have to tell me the times when you see Kenny Omega, just it happened two times blatantly that just threw me up, where he's staring at the guy
I knew
for
what you
like
would say.
like lining it up. Like he's lining him up, he's gonna catch him and like reversal. No, standing there waiting for that crazy perfect lineup for the guy to do his crazy move, which takes a bit away from the crazy move. A lot of you know what I mean. Kenny Omega is terrible at the
But
the
that's the thing.
stumble into
I know
position.
what you're
He's like
saying,
stood
but
there like wide eyed
And that
and then the guy
happens.
does
That
like
happens
okay,
all
so
the
I
time. But that happens with everyone. It's not just Kenny Omega.
that's
Not
when it
even
gets
on
too crazy.
AEW. It happens in WWE all the time
Say
too, and
what you
people don't
want.
complain.
If someone
It
does something
happens
shit
everywhere.
doesn't mean you do something shit too.
No,
Lower the
no. But
standards because
I'm
everyone's
just
standards are
saying.
low. That takes you out of the match visually,
I don't
big time.
think so because it's not like he's just standing there literally
He,
still.
he
Like he's
did, he
still.
did,
No, no, no.
bro.
You
There
can
was
tell
two
that he's a
times.
little groggy. He's like this.
There
That's
was
how he
two
is.
times where I should have freeze framed that I even gifted. Like it's like a five. Like he's like there, and you know, okay, he's waiting to catch him to do a
But it's like
crazy
2 seconds. If
something.
it's 10 seconds, then there's a problem. I
Yeah,
admit. But if it's like 2 to 5 seconds, I
whatever.
mean, come on.
You know what?
I can understand, but
I
I think
already
it's a
knew
stretch.
I already knew the conversation we would
Yeah,
have about this match. So that's why I don't want to like fucking break it down. I just wanted to
sure,
critique.
sure.
Vikingo was fucking sick.
Yeah, and you have to like
Great. Like
he's
I
only
want to see more of him.
25 too.
Yeah,
Like he's so young, this guy. And like
but I want
when
a
you think about
story.
it,
You know,
no,
like I
but
just want to say,
there
like
is a
bring the guy
story.
in one time before this match, just one time before this match. Make him do one or two sick, crazy fucking moves with some good. Like he has some even just quick little reversals and shit. Were great. Have one match against a guy, make him look sick. So now when they say the dream match, Kenny Omega against the Viking Son, I'm like, oh, even if I don't even know what happened in AAA, I'm like, fucking, I want to see this guy against Kenny Omega because that one little 5 minute match we give us a little sample makes me pumped. That's
But the
my
thing
only
is,
critique on
but
it. Like, because he's so good. Don't
yeah,
just like fucking, you know.
but that's the thing. Like as wrestling fans, why do we have to be close minded? If you don't know who someone is, just
But
watch
that's
and then
part of.
you'll. No,
I
but
know. I
listen,
know. I did just watch.
that's the
I
thing.
did
You
just
watch and
watch.
you'll find out who he is in the match. Like
I
to
didn't
be
though.
honest,
I
you
didn't though.
did.
I just know he's
That
sick
is
at
Vikingo.
doing the
He
moves.
is a human highlight reel. That is his stuff. Like this is a type of match you would see if you see his other matches,
Yeah,
and
but
10 times more too as well.
don't you agree? One big thing in wrestling as wrestling fans is the build to something like
But not everything needs a
oh,
build.
so and so might show up, or oh, I think he's gonna win the belt this finally, because they gave us a little like thing, like a little teaser, like I mean, this was just like it. bam, like fucking
But
so
I'll
much of
tell
that
you,
just
there is a story. One, it's going to be there's a showcase for El Vikingo. It's his, his
no,
debut in.
100% that, yeah.
Let me just
Go
say,
ahead.
like it's.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's his U.S. debut because he was in Impact Wrestling technically, but those shows were in Mexico. But like they were taped in Mexico and they aired on U.S. television. But technically, it's his U.S. television debut and that he was in the U.S. So there's that. He's being introduced to a new audience, and the story as well is that it's Kenny Omega returning to the best bout machine in AEW. We've seen him as a trios champion, the world trios champion for since he's returned. He hasn't really had singles matches. He had one on Dark, but in AEW, this is his first singles match in let's say a year and a half. You have that, and you have the show long storyline where this match plays in, where with the Young Bucks being taken out in the ambulance and the Hangman Page
Oh,
following him,
bro,
and then there's a thing with Don
the-
Callis is the invisible hand, and he's playing a part in this. So the match
yeah,
had a
yeah,
purpose.
yeah.
It did
It,
have a
it
purpose
did. It did.
throughout the show. It did.
The execution of the grand finale
I know.
was cheesy as fuck. Whatever. Oh, so what?
Yeah, yeah. But no,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We agree on certain things. I'm just like more. I just like the build and then the thing. Like they do so much of the. Oh, this is happening. You either have to know or like you're not cool like us that like we know. You know what I mean?
no, but it's
That's the
okay
type
if you
of.
don't know. That's the point. They don't like try to like tell you that you should know who he is. It's okay you don't know who he is. If you watch,
Yeah.
you'll find out who he is. Listen to the commentary. Even though like I know people are saying no, there's no video packages, but what do you want? 10-minute video packages? Like the minute or 2 minutes that Excalibur spent explaining who Vikingo is and why this match is important because it was scheduled a year and a half ago should be enough to say, oh, I should want to see it now. That's literally enough. And like you already had the highlights, so like the 30 seconds a minute of Vikingo doing crazy stuff. You're like, okay, is he gonna do that tonight? Because I saw a couple of flips, a couple of dives. He's gonna do something similar tonight, and he did all that and more. So
Well, you know what? I agree with you on that. I do want to see more. If that was the intention, I do want to see more. I just want to do a little more stories though. Like that's what I just
But
the
there are
stories. I
stories.
like the stories. I like the story. I want to see if where the story goes. Like, or is it just gonna be Kenny Omega's in AAA? We'll see.
Yeah.
On a quick AAA note before we transition here. Shout out PCO was the MVP of the AAA World Cup this weekend. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh no, I know he was going there. No, okay.
Yeah, he went
Cool.
and he ended up winning. I think it was the MVP. I don't know the official name, but I'm pretty sure it was just MVP of the tournament. Didn't win though. Team Mexico won. I don't remember against USA. I think it was something happened with Carlito. Spit the apple in his teammate's face by mistake, if I'm not mistaken. But so yeah, I do want to see Vikingo. See what happens. I don't want to see what happens with Kenny Omega and stuff. We'll go back to that one because I just want to touch on one thing quick. Because do you want to see what what Robert here put in the chat? Do you want to see Goldberg? The thoughts on him being a free agent. First off, is that confirmed or is that just like internet rumor mill?
Well, I mean, it's good sources. It's Fightful Select. They're usually very credible, and no one's disputed it, so it's believable. I know in recent interview he said his contract was almost up, Goldberg, so he kind of hinted at it. What are my thoughts? I mean, it would be fun just for the hell of it, Goldberg in AEW for like a one-off or maybe a very short period, a 1 month, a build to one pay-per-view. Heck, I would love to see Goldberg just freaking spear and jackhammer QT Marshall, for example.
Yeah,
fun. That would be amazing. And then, you have like people, just for the heck of it, you could even have, I don't know, something with Sting and Goldberg, like a face-off, or something with Jarrett and Goldberg, just like that. Just not like actually wrestle, but just like in some kind of interaction.
I'm sure Darby Allin would take a fucking heavy spear from Goldberg voluntarily. He'll be like, "I'm willing to break 3 ribs on this. Just go for it for that moment." With Sting standing there like shocked.
As long as it's something short term, I think fine. But I mean, I don't think it's necessary. Like, is he worth the money? Like, I don't know. Well, it's debatable, but
they definitely didn't get their money worth when they brought Tyson in and stuff like that back in those days when the Tyson and the Shaq era. They just and Snoop Dogg. Remember how many cameos they had in that the arena, the COVID days there? Like, well, we'll see what happens. Like, exactly. I want to see that if it's a good build. If it's you just want to see that spear, that that pay-per-view match, see the entrance, they'll probably go all out for the whole entrance. Tony Khan will be creaming himself.
Yeah,
I will be
well, I
too. So
mean,
it's not a diss. It's not a diss.
Tony Khan did mention that. I think the words was like he's paying attention to like Goldberg's
Yeah,
free agency. That's something like he said. So I guess news will come out if eventually, right? We'll have to wait and see. But as long as it's short term, I think it could be fun. Just remember, wrestling is fun. As much as we argue and
exactly.
take we disagree. It's fun. Who cares?
Well, speaking of stupid and fun and free agents,
Sure.
thoughts on Bray Wyatt, the stupid
Oh
fun
boy.
free agent. Is he
Who-
worth? What's the first of all? What's the scoop here?
It's like conflicting reports where it's sort of he has like a medical issue or so that's keeping him out because they were building on Raw and SmackDown, but mostly on Raw for Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. And then 1 week it just stopped, like cold, nothing happened. And supposedly he has some kind of medical condition. It's not an injury, and that was one report. And then another report says that he walked out with the rumors more and more. So every single week we find out that Vince McMahon might actually be taking over creative again. So who knows what to believe? But at this rate, we haven't heard anything from him. So
It's
I don't know.
so it's like there's like the reality camp, and then there's like the Vikingo tribe, like you said online, that could just be making up the whole storyline of
That
that to
too.
just tarnish
Yeah.
because they just don't like him. And but do you know if it's true about the whole they want him to work with Brock Lesnar, and he shut that down?
Supposedly, yeah, that too. Yeah, that's like Brock Lesnar saying, yeah, it'll be an easier match with Omos instead of Wyatt, which yeah, it kind of would be. It's very simple. It sells itself.
Yeah,
Big,
it's like
tall,
an Andre
menacing
Hogan
figure
on a
against
low.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
100%. Well, I said I've been saying for a long time. When I tuned out for a long time, I started tuning back in. One big thing I noticed was the stupid Saudi Arabia match with Goldberg, and he looked so he couldn't even get up in the jackhammer. He made it was like a not even 3 minute match. He made everything look so bad. I'm like, okay, I could put aside the funny, not liking his stupid jokes and funhouse time and his stupid mask face, whatever. If I'm not into it, at least let me see him in the ring. Definitely not
yeah,
impressive.
that's
That's
the
just
thing. Like
my that's
even
my
now, yeah,
outside the cult of
sure.
of the wrestling world thought on him for
E-
what it's worth.
Even now with his return, like I think it started well. Like I mean, there was the whole QR code thingy that to me wasn't like that interesting, but people loved it. Like you have to scan a QR code, you get little hints. Like okay, guys, but whatever. But I found that when he came back, he had his return promo. It was kind of like from the heart. You could tell he was getting like maybe in character too, all choked up. Then it started with the whole hocus pocus thing with Uncle Howdy, which is okay, fine. That's the story he wants to tell. But then it felt like it was months where nothing was happening. He's
Yeah,
not wrestling. He's just coming out. There's a backstage segment. The lights flicker or the logo pops up. Someone gets attacked, and that's it. And then it led to the freaking pitch black match, Mountain Dew sponsored at the Royal Rumble with LA Knight, which was like a glow in the dark match. It was
yeah. It was a
it
it
was
was
something else.
it was a what's her? They should have put. Does she still work for them? What was the neon
Oh
glow?
yes, Naomi. That's a good point,
Yeah.
actually.
Why the hell did they not put her in that match?
Actually, she actually said that she responded to an Instagram post, I think it was today or yesterday, that she's no longer with WWE.
Ooh.
Well, she walked out with Sasha Banks, Mercedes Monet now at the
Oh yeah.
time. But
Okay, that's where she's gone. That's where she wasn't there.
yeah.
Uh
So,
oh yeah. We haven't talked about it since the Dynamite review. I'm getting the chat's going nuts. I thought the Funhouse thing was good for selling merch, but the Demon or Fiend, all grim dark crap, don't work in general. WWE spent all the time or money on the White Rabbit, so it's true. Brock said no to Wyatt. Yeah,
yeah, fair enough.
whatever. Yeah, but the Naomi and Sasha thing. Remember? Do you think? I think my prediction still is a possibility. What are your thoughts on the Forbidden Door and Mercedes Monet going for Jade Cargill's streak?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I know she's mentioned it. She was at a Comic Con or some event where she's like, she wants to get in on Forbidden Door, Mercedes Monet. So that's a good sign. Um, I guess. I mean, Jade needs a serious feud. Like, let's be honest. Like, you could beat all the jobbers in the world. That's great. You have a streak. That's good. But you've been doing that for the past 2 years. We need like now there's a feud with Taya Valkyrie that came in. That's
Yeah.
better than what was being done previously because she's kind of in limbo. So I think yeah, Mercedes Monet, but I could see Mercedes fitting in with the Outcasts. You know, with the that group in AEW with Saraya,
I hope she
Ruby
does not.
Soho, and
I
Tony
hope she
Storm.
does not interact. I hope she's in the
No,
Jade Cargill universe. Not Jade Cargill's in her own universe. It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
interact with certain people. I hope Mercedes, if she comes, is in there. Just a quick for Robert Brown in the chat. We go live every Thursday here on the channel, and also usually around every Tuesday we have a podcast episode also that drops. Usually we have some local or famous wrestlers, if I may say that you could check back on the channel on the archive of the Jofo in the Ring podcast. We've had Godfather, Devon Dudley, Lance Storm, Sabu, Justin Credible, Ronnie Garvin. Not many people have that. Bill DeMott. We have so many people. Just check it out. But yeah, and every Thursday we go live and we talk more about what's happening now. And the podcast usually topical or interview based with special guests. With our other co-hosts Frank Jofo, Jeremy Prophet, and Kyle Morin, we haven't seen in ages, but he's out there burning up the comedy circuit. But speaking of burning up circuits, let's get back up. Let's just close up this dynamite fast before we go around the board on stuff. There's a couple more little things. So you talked about it before. Let's finish up the storyline, how it ties into I guess the main event here. The ending. So it started with the ambulance thing.
Yes.
Okay. The beatdown. First off, first critique on this is Claudio and John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta not the most how do I say it, non-mean looking, trying to be assholes, like non-asshole looking assholes for what they're trying to be? Like, I don't
No,
know. Claudio, I feel he's just like a super, like, dominant, like, happy baby face that come out there and, like, avenge this little guy. Wheeler Yuta came in, like, fresh face. That I'm not buying. I'm
I
not
think
buying that they're
listen.
ruthless assholes that just gonna beat you down for the hell of it. Like,
Well, I think like it speaks for themselves. Like when they're in the ring, the way that they wrestle, this the stiff
well, they
style,
started
the
doing that lately. Yeah,
yeah, like you could like it's little things there, and I definitely and this is just like a maybe a personal thing, but I think Wheeler Yuta growing out his beard. I know it's been a while, but that helped for sure. Like he
it
doesn't
helps,
have
but
the
it's
baby
also
face, but he
yeah,
like look at
yeah.
Claudio Castagnoli. I agree. Yes, he is
I
like
would
you think
Wheeler
a good
Yuta.
baby face, but he can beat the hell out of you with his European uppercuts. He
Yes,
destroys you.
I know he can. I know he can. But I also know that he wouldn't do it for no reason, just to be a prick and beat you while you're down and take advantage. That's the problem with Claudio, the Ring of Honor champion. That he
Yeah,
just comes out with John Moxley as a
but
sidekick
I find
all
it's
the
mostly
time.
Moxley doing that, and I think the other two are following the lead. You know, it's Moxley keeping the hold on
So
after the bell
yeah,
rings, doing the
yeah.
attack.
Speaking
So
of badass Moxley, tell me you were looking at his stomps when he was stomping out Kenny Omega when there were three men beating the shit out of him in the ring. Such vicious. Did you see this? Tell me, because it's so fresh in my mind. That's why, bro. Just if you can watch just the ending, the last 4 minutes of the, not even just watch when they come in and they stomp
what
him in the
stomps
corner.
miss like
It's
that
no,
happens
no,
all
it's
the
not missed.
time.
No, it's not
It
missed.
happens all
It's
the
not missed.
time.
It's not missed. It's not missed. It's on him. But the fucking like, it's not. Not even like. It's like pushing on him. Like it was so, I can't even explain it. This guy's. I can't stand him on the TV. Whatever. John
Sure.
Moxley. I never seen him in WWE as Dean Ambrose. I've only seen him since he came out on that pay-per-view, since the pay-per-view AEW when he came out in the crowd. And I was like, oh my god, it's John Moxley, ex-WWE. I find out, okay, he's ex-WWE. That's why everyone was so pumped to see him interact with Jericho, da da da. Since the AEW started, oh god, whatever. Anyways, so that's even
Sure.
that was just the funny parts of that non-believable assholes beating down Kenny Omega because they're so vicious. Then there's the fucking ambulance sound. Like, okay, so they played off that Adam Page jumped in the ambulance. So they kept saying, "Oh, where's Kenny Omega's head? There's none of his team is here. The Young Bucks got beat up." So they're playing off that he's alone there.
Yeah.
Even Don Callis is at ringside. because there's no one there. It's a very big match, and Kenny Omega is like by himself, whatever. So they're already teasing you that he's gonna get beat down and everyone's gone. So if he gets saved, is someone gonna save him? Why would they not just make Hangman Adam Page come storming out like a fucking bat out of hell with that thing, knock one guy out, do a fucking boot or a lariat, you know what I mean? And instead they do the stupid playing the ambulance sound, videotaping the ambulance come into the
It's a bit
parking lot.
cheesy, but it's
Then
pro
have the
wrestling, though.
awkward I know it's pro wrestling, but why can't
happens
they
all
make
the
it
time.
exciting? Think of the times it's happened in the past where it pumps you up. Like, okay, something's gonna happen, but you don't know something's gonna happen. Make it happen with like a fucking, oh my god, here he comes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, part of it is making it seem like intense. That makes it seem like freaking. It was so bad. It was so cheesy. The combination of the fake beatdown, Kenny Omega, the worst at pretending he's hurt. He's the worst at that. He's like looking over his shoulder all the time, going like this, and if something happens, I just look at him. He's so funny. Anyways, this ending. What's your thoughts on this ending? I'm just like venting on it.
I know you don't like it, but this is like honestly, this is what AEW is built on: the story of the Elite and Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. This is what people like. This is the interesting part of AEW. I find, for me personally, this is what it's built on, the story. And people are going to say AEW don't have stories. This is the story. It's been going on since the beginning, and there's continuity in the sense that Don Callis is the one that basically had the Young Bucks turn heel to join Kenny Omega when Kenny Omega was champion, and now Don Callis is the one. And he kind of, he split apart Hangman Page and Kenny Omega when they were a team, basically. And now, again, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
for those who don't know what you're talking about right there, we didn't say it yet, but that's the ending of this brouhaha, the Adam Page coming to save Kenny Omega, was that awkward. Don Callis was pulling Hangman, pulling him away from wanting to beat up the Blackpool Combat Club, right? And then he does like this weird, just like falls down by himself. Which, thank goodness, the whole plan of it was that, because then Don Callis is playing off now to Kenny Omega, who didn't see it, that Hangman hit him, which now is creating dissension against Hangman and Kenny, right? At least it was that, because I thought like Don Callis just took a really, really bad looking fall for no reason.
But I mean, that's the point.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Thank God that was for a split second. I'm like, oh my God, did he just do that?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is we'll just pretend that Kenny Omega can go on YouTube and watch the ending of Dynamite that they put.
That's why it's little things like that where.
But I mean,
they just pretend you're an idiot. Like they don't even try. Like a big thing of wrestling is like we all know it's whatever, it's stage, it's a show, but the whole point of it, the big part of it, is doing as much as you can to make it seem like it's things that people would maybe kind of really do, or at least the arc of the people doing it, and make you believe they're the type of people that would do such things that they're doing, is a big part of wrestling.
I mean,
since the beginning of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm gonna say. But I agree with the story. I like the twists and turns and the Elite. I thank God that the Elite and Moxley are all bunched into one little storyline. They could just keep to themselves. I'm happy that the MJF universe exists and the Ricky Starks universe exists. Jericho, he's always doing his little universe of things, but whatever. Speaking of universe of things, Hook versus boy Hook in the no disqualification match.
That was like one of the best parts of the show for me, honestly. I loved it. And
do you not Stokely think it was a little much to do to Stokely? Like I thought the whole point of the no DQ was that like Stokely would maybe not do much, and then like Hook would have to beat the shit out of other people or something or whatever, come through twists and turns. I didn't think that Stokely would take a fucking beating.
I think it worked because it was so absurd. It was so stupid, especially when I love with the cutaway. You have Matt Hardy, Ethan Page in the back. They're like, we didn't practice hardcore. We didn't think of that. That was just like so good. And I know it's ridiculous. You had the guardrail spot, but it's so fun.
I hope Stokely comes out. He has to come out in like a full body cast or something next time. Like he
Yeah, he
has
probably
to.
would.
He's got to come out with the neck, at least the neck brace and the
Yeah, yeah.
arms. He's got to come out in like a crazy bandage up like a mummy next week. To because if he did all that, and he comes out like fucking just regular. It'll take away from the whole thing that happened, right? You want to
Yeah.
see him come out like pissed off and not able to move, a la Vince McMahon when he was bedridden there on Heat
Oh
and
boy,
stuff.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? You want to see Stokely pissed off, they can't move. I think it would be great. So that
Yeah.
was fun. You know,
Super
doesn't
entertaining.
insult you too much. Your intelligence and you know what I mean. You don't need to be ultra creative and in the know
Sure.
to really get into the what you're witnessing in front of you. I just can't get over the ambulance siren in the arena. It's like the end.
I
They
mean,
did
it's
not
wacky,
need
it's
that.
stupid, but it's
Okay,
happened
you know
all the
what?
time. It's happened
Even
in
if you
WWE in the past. Like
no, no, but the
it's
difference in WWE, they
normal.
would not have piped in that fake
Yeah, they
ambulance
would.
in the
They
arena that
pipe in
even.
everything.
But but
Yes.
but, but wait, but then they didn't show the ambulance on the screen until after. Why didn't they just like, oh, what's this? We have a camera backstage, and then they show the fucking thing coming in. You know that like that's the little difference with the way they execute things. Is the difference, but we're not gonna bury that. It's the little thing of the way you execute it. Like you know what I mean? It could seem cool and smooth, and
No,
don't make
it
us
was never cool.
fucking
I think it's
feel like we're
stupid in any
retarded.
company. It's stupid in any company. Like it's
Like
ridiculous. What, he stole the ambulance and he's driving it back. It's like it's
so,
so dumb.
it's so.
But who cares?
Speaking of dumb, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting versus the Butcher, Blade, and Kip
How
Sapien
could like
for
come on?
honorable
I knew you would
mention on
find
the
that
show.
dumb. But that was
No,
fun.
just
That's a
Orange
fun opener.
Cassidy.
Come on. Like
It was all right. I don't mind Darby Allin and getting the Sting. I like Butcher and Blade. Kip Sapien, I could buy them as athletes and wrestlers. They don't stand there and insult your intelligence and tell you you're an idiot for watching wrestling because I don't try to wrestle. So that's the only reason why Orange Cassidy's stupid in my books. But that's just my opinion. We already know whatever. AEW Tag Team Championships, Top Flight, the Guns. What's your thoughts on this outing and what transpired?
sorry, I think my feed is cutting out.
Oh,
But you're talking about the
I said
Guns versus Dante and Darius.
yeah.
I think I'm back.
Oh, you're cutting out. You're cutting out to see Lucha Underground convinced me they were going to light a person on
Okay,
fire for real after a
sorry
match.
about that.
So
Yeah.
it had its moments. You're back. Oh, you're still. Are you there? You good? You hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I don't know. It's cutting. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, now I hear you. Yeah, I think
All
we're
right,
okay
all right.
now.
At
Or
least
not.
Orange in the chat here. Just gonna read this one. At least Orange Cassie's original, unlike all these Sky or Skies. He has a character that people should not like as a real face, so it's even better. So many
Just
upset.
give me a second.
Just my thoughts on that Mr. Manga satire. Orange Cassidy, to make you mad at him because he insults your intelligence as to what the whole point of wrestling is to make it seem like a simulated fight or combat or people wanting to win a competition. The fact that he doesn't do that on purpose to you know what I mean? He doesn't do it in a way to make you not like his personality or his character. He insults your intelligence for watching wrestling for what he does. That's just my thoughts on that's why it bothers me. Like like the way he did it with Double J, okay. But the whole thing of like I'm just gonna in a big moment, I'm gonna put my hands in my freaking pocket. I'm gonna do the freaking stop the match in the middle and do the kicks. It's just like insulting to your intelligence. Like I know stupid things happen in wrestling, but he breaks the fourth wall to tell you it's stupid and wink at you and say it's stupid, whatever. I couldn't stand Hulk Hogan back in the day or many others. He took character on Fast Furious or others. He's supposed to be so good and he doesn't take it serious. Are you talking about Hulk Hogan doesn't take it serious? He took it serious as hell back in the day. He loved what he meant. He was a walking action figure and he embraced it. He at least pretended to look like somebody who could beat people up. At least went that far to look like he cares and looks like he does something to maybe be able to beat somebody up. That's the difference with Hulk Hogan. If I can't even believe you're mentioning that in the same sentence. Ultimate Warrior had like 3 moves. Ultimate Warrior looked like a walking action figure. So when you cast an unstoppable beast in a movie, you would maybe cast someone that looks like he could beat the living shit out of you. So when you cast someone to be someone that looks like he could beat the crap out of people in a ring, if he doesn't if he doesn't look like he could beat the crap out of you in the ring, he at least is athletic and talented enough to learn the art of and combat sports of wrestling to make you think he could beat the shit out of somebody. He doesn't not look like somebody who could not beat the shit out of anyone and do things in the ring to show you that he doesn't care about beating people up and he doesn't want to beat people up, and he'll stop the match and make the guy who was just trying to beat him up stop beating him up and stand there and watch him do something stupid, like softly kicked him in the shins when 3 seconds ago the guy had him in like a headlock trying to fucking rake his eyes out. That's the difference between Ultimate Warrior and Orange Cassidy.
I'm just gonna say that.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. Sorry.
Finish my monologue.
No. I was waiting for you to finish. I'm like, okay, you're onto it. But the only thing I'm gonna say is that
Ultimate Warrior and Orange Cassidy. Oh God!
You can't compare. No. There's no point comparing. But I'm just gonna say, Orange Cassidy, everything he does, it's the equivalent of any other taunt in pro wrestling. It's the same as doing a suck it. It's the same as too sweeting your guy. Yes, it is.
Because they wouldn't fucking. They wouldn't have the guy stand there for 15 seconds.
They stopped the match to do it too sweet.
They would fucking do a sick move or a dirty move behind your back, turn to the ground, or right before they lock up in a hard grapple, they do a suck it or whatever. You know what I mean? It wasn't. They're just fighting for 7 minutes. I just want fucking flying out of the ring, suicide dive, come in, and then okay. Oh, and the guy was just trying to beat him up. Now is watching him do this. You know what I mean? I understand you do a fucking move, you turn to the crowd, or you just do a good move and the guy's laying in shock because you just did a quick, like little guys will do that quick little reverse, like El Hijo Vikingo. He'll do a sick fucking little reversal. I'm pretty sure if I watch more of his matches now, and and the guy will be the bigger guy that you would think could beat him up. Now you believe this little guy has agility and athletic, kind of movements, and like he's really putting his effort to beat up this big guy. You know what I mean? Those moments where the guy outsmarts him, and then the better looking wrestler or the bigger guy will be like, oh shit, that just happened, and the guy does a little taunt. You know what I mean? He doesn't do the guy standing in front of him or whatever.
I mean, you just don't like the gimmick. That's fair. That's fine.
Fuck Ultimate Warrior. I love Ultimate Warrior. Fuck Orange Cassidy. Whatever, man.
Whatever.
Why is his personality like that? Also, because I've been watching AEW Dynamite from the beginning. I just know he doesn't care and doesn't try. That's his whole personality. But why though? They never tell you why he is this. Is there a story like you're
that's a theory.
You're the guy who knows the backstories on the outside AEW. So before AEW, did you know who he was?
I saw clips of him, but I never saw any matches. I just saw, hey, this is the guy doing the pockets thing on Twitter. That's what I saw basically.
Okay, but there's no explanation of why is Matt Hardy's stupidity that he has. He has like a whole fucking series of. Yes, because at least I can buy into him not caring. You know what I mean? At least just tell me something. Like, ever since he got screwed or something or whatever in wrestling, he had a shot and somebody screwed him. He said, I'm not gonna try anymore. But somehow he gets lucky and he still wins without even trying. Oh my God. And make the little funny sideshow that he is. But they don't even try. They don't even do. You know what I mean? He's there. He doesn't care.
But his gimmick is so simple to understand.
I don't mind the gimmick. I don't mind the gimmick. I'm not trying to be ultra.
You don't need a backstory to.
But why does he his matches? The whole point of wrestling is the in-ring thing, and he insults your intelligence if you've never watched wrestling, and you watch wrestling, and he's in the match, you're scratching your head saying, "What?" No, you're saying, what am I watching? No, because it's supposed to be people trying to win a fight.
Everyone I've ever showed wrestling to, like who don't watch wrestling, they always like the stupid, the wackiest, and the things that don't make sense.
Exactly. Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said. If somebody doesn't like wrestling, they like that. Listen to
But
what you
that,
just said. I
but
rest
that's
my
the
case.
point. That's how
I
you
quote
attract
Alex.
people.
I quote Alex the Elite. People that don't like wrestling see Orange Cassidy, they like him.
No, people who
Exactly.
never
If
watched pro wrestling before,
exactly,
they,
so
they,
don't
they
even know
think
what.
it's stupid. They're gonna love stupid things like that. They don't.
Uh,
They're not interested in headlocks. They're not interested in arm drags.
yes, they are. They've been for
No,
100 years. A
no.
hundred
People
years.
like
100 years.
characters,
Those are
and
big parts of wrestling. I'm
no,
telling you
but
right
I'm just
now.
saying that's
I'll
how
tell
you
you right
attract
now.
people. You attract people with the entrances, the characters,
I
the
know that
gimmicks.
he stinks. You're never until something changes. I don't know. I'm not buying it, and I can't buy it. He doesn't make me buy. He doesn't. Well, he's whatever. I'm telling you right
That's fair.
now, the amount
I'll
of
just tell
talent
you.
and just wrestling matches. I'll do a shameless plug to Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling, small indie promotion here in Montreal, Quebec, Laval to be exact. Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling. We have a couple of their events on our channel. If you don't know any of the people in those matches, which was the case the first ever time we went, but you watch the matches, you get into the match because something happens in the match that like that 15, 10, 20-minute match. It tells you learn who the people are, and then they wrestle and they counter and they headlocks work, wrist locks work, lockups at the to lock up at the beginning of a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Or try to take one guy will try to take the other down, not like I'm gonna run to your face and do a fake hockey fight. You know what I mean? Which it works sometimes. It works sometimes when it's big brawlers that you believe they would just want to beat the crap out of each other. It's just it's too much of the of certain class or not class, but a certain segment of wrestling fans are this. You have to just accept it for what it is, and like okay. AEW, I love AEW. I'll give them, but I love, if I love something, I gotta be truthful with it, right? I've been watching from the
Yeah.
beginning. This doesn't work. This guys like him,
No,
it
but
doesn't help grow the thing.
no,
You think
you
Mike
can't say
Tyson
that. You
wants to
can say
be
that. You can say
fucking?
that you don't like Orange Cassidy, and that's fair. You don't like pro wrestling is like music.
I don't
You're not
like
gonna
him not because I don't
like
like
every
his.
genre of
But
music, and that's
it's not
okay.
no. But listen to me. I'm just saying it's not because I don't like him or his character, whatever. I don't like what he does in the ring to ruin what the whole point of wrestling is. That's
It doesn't
that's
ruin
my
it.
beef with him. He
It's a
insults
different
your
style of
intelligence.
wrestling. I'll give you an example.
Not a style of
IWS and
wrestling.
all these death matches. I don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a
Don't
style of
even.
wrestling. The way
Yeah.
he has the
Yes.
matches, right? But
I'm gonna
like
fight against
deathmatch
Powerhouse
wrestling
Hobbs
is
or
not for me.
Wardlow.
But there's a huge amount of people who
Yes,
like that.
his wrestling is it's fake. We all know it's fake. It's like behind the. It's like
Wrestling is
we'll call
fake.
we'll call
I
the.
hate to tell you this.
I know, but the whole art of it is like
Dear
getting
God.
you into emotionally involved into a match or to a person or to a character. He doesn't get you into him. Like what? He doesn't try. He does the same stupid trick over and over. The the nip up with his hands in his pocket. Oh wow. Oh
It works.
he ducked the guys. He ducked the guy's clothesline, went under, and then came off the rope and did a drop kick with his hand in his pocket. Whoa! Oh, the guy standing outside the ring. The camera's close to the guy's face. Oh, this pan the camera to the ring. Oh, it's Orange Cassidy coming out with his hands in his pocket for a suicide dive. Oh, yay!
Listen to the
He's a
reactions
chat.
and the merchandise that he sells. Like Orange Cassidy
Yeah,
is
I
a
get it.
valuable part
Yeah,
of the company. He is. Like it's not for you.
I
That's
get it.
okay. You don't have to
I
like
get it.
everything on the show, and you don't have to
I
like every
can't wait.
style of pro
I
wrestling.
can't wait for the day that they finally just say, "Hook, your time has come," and to make you an ultra star, we're just gonna make you beat the shit out of Orange Cassidy, throw him around,
That's your dream match, right? That's your dream
choke
match.
him out, stretch him out, put some wrestling holds on him. See what? Let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of
Oh
this.
boy.
Let's get something. Let's get something more
LFG, right?
tasteful. I don't know. Shout out Stu Grayson though. Just gonna say that there. Shout out Stu Grayson.
Very happy he's
Very
back.
athletic. Yeah, sure. He had a good performance. Moxie didn't bleed. is the big is the big takeaway. I guess I didn't see the Adam Cole promo. Was it anything important, or is
Uh,
just him plugging his next match and the freaking the reality show?
well,
Which I,
there was that, and then it set up the first match he's gonna have back against Daniel
okay,
Garcia. Daniel Garcia interrupted him, And I know it's
Okay.
another guy that's been criticized here for sure, and I think he did fine. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I don't know what
Okay.
expectations people have of people who are just like relatively new to being on TV.
Yeah.
It's like
Sometimes it's not their
he does
fault.
fine in
Sometimes
his
it's
role.
yeah. Sometimes
No,
it's when
but
they jam the guy down your throat. They don't realize that we want the people to like this guy. Let's just not like make it apparent that we want you to like him. I guess like jam him down your throat. Listen. I'm not. I don't hate Danny Garcia.
sure.
Just like I said, they did that hard phase where they just went a little too hard and fast with the fucking trying to put. Okay, all of a sudden this guy's a superstar. Like okay, they went a little hard, but that's not his fault. Like you said, he did the best with like if they tell you, I'm gonna try and push you and make you superstar. You're not gonna say no, boss. I don't want that shot. You're gonna take it and run it. So yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
for Danny Garcia. It's just I
it's gonna
understand
be a
where
good match. Yeah.
yeah. So but he just came out and interrupted him, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good tease. Like, let's hope it actually leads to something where Daniel Garcia it was just basically saying that while Adam Cole spent almost a year injured, Daniel Garcia was becoming a star in the company. He was saying that he's not just like the fall guy from Jericho. He's like one of the main guys in the JAS. He's main evented more dynamites than anyone else. He was saying who knows if it's true, but he has main evented quite a few. And that he was saying that this is where he almost slipped up, and the crowd reacted, which shows that they're still interested in him. When he was saying that I became the best wrestler, and then he stopped himself, sports entertainer in the past year. So there's still that. Honestly, I find that stupid to say wrestler versus sports entertainer because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Like, but whatever. The crowd likes it, so I can't argue with that. And
That
they
was their
reacted.
whole heel, the anti
That's the whole
WWE
gimmick.
thing, right? That's the whole
But it's
thing. That's
stupid.
just,
It's stupid.
they're still doing it.
I find it
That's
stupid, but they
stupid.
enjoy it, so I can't
That's
argue.
stupid. Not as stupid
Yeah,
as
because
nothing
it is
as
the same.
stupid as
Wrestling
Orange
and sports
Cassidy.
entertainment is the same thing. They're one and the same.
No, the
It's
whole
the
the
same
whole
thing.
in see that's another we'll put that in the fourth wall category where it's like you have to know what the joke is about that. The joke about that is that in WWE you have to refer to them as sports entertainers and superstars, not wrestlers.
Well,
But here in
not
AEW,
anymore
because
though.
we're the we're supposed to be a pro was it the real sports field presentation they used to say at the beginning
Somewhat, yeah.
that here we're wrestlers that and then that's why Jericho's whole asshole gimmick is I'm a sports entertainer, trying to be
Yeah.
like that. That's what it is. But again, like to your point, it's you have to know. It's like the behind the fourth wall segment of fans. It's like if you just started watching wrestling, like recently, and you got into it, you wouldn't really know what the joke is behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but
the
I
inside,
mean,
it's like the
that's the
inside.
thing.
Like there's like two types of fans like that they cater to: the general fan and the fans that know. Right? I'm not knocking. I'm just saying there's two types of some storylines or some jokes or some things they poke at in the promos. Like what was another one they did tonight? On QTV he did
Last
tonight
night.
last night with
Yeah.
QTV he did they did the rib there about the somebody said something about hotels or that's like if you don't
Yeah.
know what he's
That's
talking
lame
about.
though.
Yeah, so I'm saying
That's
those
lame,
things
but
like
who
that I don't like.
cares?
But again, not to go back to, but that's a little too peak. It's behind the curtain too much, right? Takes you out of
Yeah,
it. Like,
but
why are you talking about that stupidity?
speaking of behind the curtain, I think it's a good segue. We could talk about Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes' showdown on Raw, their promo, which people are going crazy about for Roman Reigns' line about. Well, he didn't say directly AEW, but I mean, this is basically what he said.
You
He
started
was.
your own
I don't know if you
promotion.
saw it. Well, yeah,
I
he's telling Cody Rhodes, you didn't like the Stardust thing, so you ran away from WWE. You started your own promotion, and you couldn't get over, so now you're back here. Like he said, you couldn't get over using wrestler insider terms, and people are going crazy. It's like no, like that took me out of it. Like
as
all
they
he had to
should, as
say,
they should, as you should go crazy when Orange Cassidy stops the whole match to do a stupidity that no one would ever do
no,
in
but
that
at least
predicament.
it works in his storyline, in his character, or like
No,
in
it
the
doesn't. No, it
AEW. We'll
doesn't.
put
It's
it
the
the
same thing
AEW
like saying
multiverse, right?
putting you over in a promo. It's
No,
the
it's
same.
not.
It's the
It's
same
not.
thing. It's behind the fourth wall.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Anyways,
It's
let me
telling
get back
you
to Roman Reigns.
the
All
reason
Roman
why this
Reigns.
guy's listen, hold on. It's telling you the reason why this guy's not punching me in the face right now is because this is 110% not real, and he's gonna stand there and watch me do my shtick. It's the same thing. Like this
No,
guy
all it
is gonna stop
have you,
trying to
like
beat me up.
in real in boxing and in UFC and MMA fights, there are plenty of people who are cocky. They're gonna stop and do something stupid,
No,
and then they
they'll
get
evade the only thing that would they would evade the guy with a quick agility. You know what I mean? Boxing, when they taunt, it's because they did like a jab and they use a quick footwork. They got away from the guy and they did like a little fucking like little shake or a little something cool. You know, like I just fucking rocked you and now I just got out of your way. You
But
don't
it's
even know where I
taunting.
am.
That's my
You
point.
can't catch. Yeah,
That
but
exists.
he's like getting out of the guy's way and moving around. He's not like stepping. He's not like just did a quick little combo to the guy's face and stand right there like this in front of his face and be like, you know what I mean? The guy would just knock him out. He wouldn't stand there after rattling him with a combo and just do a little ha 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 and do a little tap with his glove. The guy's gonna fucking knock him out. He
I
would
mean,
step back.
get it.
He would try to, just like in wrestling when they do something like a Ric Flair or Jeff Jarrett. What happened? He did something, threw the guy down. The guy just fell after like a move or a Russian leg sweep or something. And then
Oh,
as he's
okay.
down on the floor and he clearly can't get you, you do a little shake and bake. You do something funny. You do your little thing or something. You know. That's all I'm saying.
And
But because go
you're
back
telling
to
me
the promo.
The Ric Flair flop, for example, doesn't tell you that wrestling's fake. Come on, that's so
But
stupid. That doesn't
but
make
a
any sense.
guy, if I punched you in the face and you awkwardly fell down like fun, it was fun.
Like a
If I
flop,
punch you and you flop down, I would step back.
nobody falls like that.
I know, but the other guy, like you
That's
said, to
not
the
fake,
shtick
right?
part,
Come on.
to the shtick part, the other guy would laugh and watch you fall down after he punches you in the face because you clearly rocked you. You know what I mean? But if you were just trying to punch me in the face and then now you're just standing in front of me in arm's reach and I'm not trying to punch you back in the face. Whatever.
Anyways, like
But
it's
yeah,
a good
okay.
point
So
in the
you're saying
comments.
let's
Like
go back to
punching is
Roman Reigns.
technically illegal in wrestling. That's true. You can't have a
Or
closed
striking.
fist.
We'll
So
call it striking.
yes.
Striking. But let's go back to
Well, I
Roman Reigns.
mean,
I don't want.
yeah,
I don't. I keep being that dead horse. I don't want to anymore.
I
I
know
love you, Orange
exactly.
Cassidy,
The
as a
poor
person.
horse.
Don't like your wrestling. But yeah. So back to Roman Reigns.
But
So
yeah,
this was a
the
great
Roman Reigns,
promo on
like,
your.
yeah, I
But
think
this
it
soured
was
it.
like, no, I don't. It didn't ruin it for me. It's still like, oh, let's be honest. On Raw, the only thing that's good is anything with the bloodline, and that involves KO, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody, and the bloodline. Everything else, with the exception of, like, let's say this past week's of Raw, the only thing else that was good was Chad Gable versus Ricochet. Everything else was like forgettable. There wasn't like anything terrible, but you don't have to watch Raw. Like, honestly, there's nothing that's very interesting or like that's really worth investing your time. Like, say if you're really busy, just watch everything of the bloodline and skip everything else and just Ricochet and Chad Gable. But it's the truth. Like 3 hours, but you can skip almost all of it. It's not worth your time. And WrestleMania is next week. So much for the best storylines in wrestling being in WWE. Come on, there's one storyline in WWE. It just so happens to be the top angle, which, like, as it should be, the top angle should be the best. It's WWE. I mean, it's the Bloodline storyline, and it involves the world championship, whatever, the undisputed WWE World Universal title, whatever they want to call it, and the tag team championship. So the Bloodline angle, is gonna be involved in 2 matches at WrestleMania, which is very important. But the promo, it was very good, Cody and Roman, and just I find that the way that Roman could have said the line so that it doesn't like come like a work shoot kind of line. Just say that you started your own company and they booed you out of the building, so now you're back here. That's all he had to say. The whole thing you didn't get over. Like, to be honest, Cody was like over in AEW, if you want to say it. Like at the beginning of AEW, like Cody, he had so much momentum. Like, let's just put it this way. I forgot what year it was. It was before AEW started. It was Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega at one of the ROH Supercard of Honor. At the time, it was the biggest crowd that ROH drew. It was like 7,000 people. So Cody was a draw, and like he was over. Like, it's the momentum that Cody, the Young Bucks, and the Elite and the Bullet Club had prior to AEW in Ring of Honor and crossing over starting in New Japan and crossing over to Ring of Honor. That's what formed AEW. So like Cody Rhodes, he had a lot of momentum, and just for whatever reason, the gimmick that he's doing now in WWE, they didn't work in AEW when he wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to stay the baby face. He kind of booked himself in a corner. Like the whole thing where he said he would never challenge for the AEW title. Like, I think he started good when he had the TNT Open Challenge, his first title reign. That was very good, Cody. And then it just fell apart. Like, unfortunately, he could never recover. It was just, I know there was that, who was it that he had that feud with? The boxer. What was his name?
Oh, he was being
Uh,
good. I remember
but that
seeing.
feud, I think, ruined Cody, unfortunately. And I think he
Oh,
can never
what?
recover. And then he set himself on fire, and no one cared in his match against Andrade. You know, it's like,
Well, yeah. Yo, by the
my
way,
goodness.
a lot of that's kind of like the my thing with Vikingo there. Like, should have saved some of that stuff for pay per view because you know that crazy what's it called?
Anthony Gogo,
Everyone
yes, right. Thank you in
Anthony
the chat.
Gogo.
Sorry. Yes.
Anthony Gogo. He was actually pretty good. He did like I remember he was not bad for a debut. I like this character. Ex boxer. But I was just gonna say, Vikingo, did you see when he did that crazy 630 through the table? Like
Yes.
he landed pretty hard his head on the apron. Like I saw some of
It was
the
close.
shots.
He actually didn't. It was close, but I mean, he's done that before. So I knew, as soon as he set up that table, I'm like, dear God, he's gonna do this on TV.
But isn't that
It's
also
like
a quick
amazing.
note, not to go back on it, isn't that disqualification if I'm
It's AEW. Like, let's be
I
honest.
just
Like,
see, like,
the rules
I
are
love
enforced when they
AEW.
want
Why
to
do
be
they do
enforced.
these things that like you have like if there's always no rules, then it doesn't make it fun when there's no rules kind of thing. Like doesn't just saying. But
I
so back
mean,
to the WWE side
yeah.
of things. Your WrestleMania is what this weekend coming up? No, next one.
Next weekend, yeah,
So we have one more, two
April
more
1st
SmackDowns.
and 2nd.
So it's two more SmackDowns and
Yes,
one more Raw.
yeah,
Right.
exactly, and two more Smackdowns, one more Raw. Yeah, that's right.
So you
Yeah,
mean to
April
tell me
1st and 2nd,
you're not extremely pumped for Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins?
Oh my goodness! Like I have no doubt
I,
it's gonna be
I
better a better match than you can ever imagine. Because like as much as I don't like Logan Paul, I'm not gonna say he's a good wrestler. Anyone who says he's a good wrestler is like failing to realize that he's a good athlete. So yes, he can definitely do all the stunts, all the the flips, the dives, whatever you want to do. But to be a good
well,
wrestler, you don't
yeah,
get trained three
you have
months
yeah.
and you're good. Unless you're Kurt Angle, that's different. Kurt Angle he was a good
Literally,
wrestler by the end of the week. By the end of the week, he
literally.
started training. Yeah.
So what are those things? So you just said Logan Paul's a good athlete, looks
Yeah.
like an athlete, and could learn all this shit, especially with a veteran like Seth Rollins. They're like, to it was a good partner. So right to the chat's point, I was leading to every critique you just said about Logan Paul. I said, what is he missing then, Logan Paul? Because everything you just said, you could kind of
Yeah.
say
He's
about
missing
Orange
the middle
Cassidy.
part. No, I knew you were gonna go there.
What's the
No,
middle part?
he's missing.
What's the middle part?
He's
Because
missing.
that's
He's
exactly
missing
my
putting it all
critique.
together. He's missing putting it all together. How to structure a match, especially if
Yeah.
he's the heel. He's going to be the one that has to control the match. That's the way it usually works. It's the heel that. Well, nothing is really called in the ring in WWE anymore. But let's just see if it were to have been right. It's the heel that's controlling the match. Listening to the crowd, knowing what to do, when to slow it down, when to looking at the peaks and the valleys of the match, like when to calm down, when to give a false comeback, and when to do the actual comeback. Like that's gonna come in time. Like I have no doubt he's gonna be good. Like I hate to say it because I don't like him, but I have
And
no
also
doubt he's gonna.
exactly and actually and exactly so his character and his personality genuinely makes you not like him because you know who he is and you don't like his freaking face and everything, right? Literally everything that
Relax.
Logan Paul has is what Orange Cassidy is. You could kind
Okay,
of
but we don't
apply,
need to
but Orange
compare.
Cat
Like, come on.
like no, because
There's
like they
no,
were
there's no
saying in the chat
comparison.
before, oh, you're supposed to not like him because he doesn't try. Logan Paul, you
No,
don't like him because he tries and he could actually have an entertaining match, but you just don't want to see his fucking face. So it's actually, I want you to lose. I want you to go home. And whatever. I'm not gonna. But I want to say, kind of on the same note with the real life, like you know who he is in real life and whatever online.
yes,
You know his
yes.
persona, so you don't like him.
Yeah.
Kind of what I think the next era of wrestling is gonna have, especially now with having AEW as kind of like what the behind the curtain talk, like what they did there with what the fucking Roman Reigns and Cody, and they do a lot like you've seen in WWE referring to inside shit about what happened in WWE. So now we're entering the era. I feel that like the smarter wrestlers, like I think we've said a few times, are using uh real real life and what's being talked about online and around the wrestling world and speaking to those fans and what they're saying, you know what I mean? Pretending it's a peek behind the curtain, but still, playing off of that. You know how like MJF is such a prick and he purposely says like that shit that the AEW fans don't like to hear. He uses some of those inside shit that people are trending about. In because you need that now. Because if you, like we say, if you always no, I'm just saying it makes it more fun when it's like they engineer like quote unquote. I like there's real life kayfabe and then there's like internet kayfabe. Like I feel is something that needs to be practiced more in the next phase of wrestling world. Because I feel what you find takes you out a little bit too much when when they talk too much behind the curtain, like oh, I hate this guy, I want to make him bleed and kill the shit out of him, and then like, oh, I had such great respect, what a great match with my friend, and they're having like a beer all bloodied up in the back like right away. You know what I mean? I like and also like taking shit. Oh, most of the fans don't like that I said this uh online or whatever, and they say it on you know what I'm trying to say, like the online kayfabe, like working the fans that are in the know
I mean,
instead, because sometimes ignoring what's being talked about in the online world kind of makes it weird too, right? When they try to be straight, like living in the bubble of the universe of WWE or AEW.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of like this all these things of like this has been going on since WCW, the Russo days. The work shoots and all this crap, like peeking behind the curtain. Like those one time they, just for example, they promoted. I don't know if it was Goldberg versus Steiner, or maybe it was something. Either it was something either Kevin Nash or Goldberg Steiner, some kind of match like that. And they basically said that this match is real though. Like all the matches before are fake, but this one's real.
Yeah.
So like,
See, yeah, you see, so I feel like
this,
I think we're kind of like
we
trying
don't
to
need this.
we're trying to hash out right here. So yeah, I feel there's a way to use, to your point. There has to be a new standard of etiquette of internet kayfabe, where there are ways you could play off of what's being talked about. But now here's part of the etiquette: there's certain words you can't use, right? Can't use words like over and shoot, and you know what I mean,
Yeah,
stuff
we
like
don't
that.
need
But I
that.
like when
Like,
you know what I mean? But I like when they sometimes acknowledge, like I said, like MJF, like he'll fucking use a cornet line tagline because he knows it's gonna piss
yeah,
the shit
but
off of
that's
out of a
consistent.
segment of fans, which what he wants. He knows they don't like a certain thing, so he's gonna ham up that thing to piss people off, which is you have to do. Like that's a real life ass like heel, right? Until Logan Paul doesn't try too much to be an asshole, but it comes off that way, and that cocky, arrogant young guy. I have money now, so let me embrace it in WWE. People don't like my face. I know I could see online people don't like me. I have followers, but I have a lot more haters, right? Logan Paul, and
Makes
that's what I'm
sense.
saying. That's a good example. The only reason why Logan Paul is in WWE because Logan Paul, without even knowing it, has internet kayfabe. He has like his whatever persona he built online over the years. And I just like, do you not agree? Like, I feel like wrestlers should have a certain internet kayfabe etiquette to help keep the
I don't think
business
it
like.
matters though. Like we all know, like, and the thing, the
I
world that
gotta
we
give
live in,
pop. You
the
see
world that
a
we,
little
yeah,
back and forth on Twitter. This and then they end up facing off one down the line, or not saying all the time, constantly, but at least like if MJF had a feud with whatever. Let's just say Scorpio Sky or something back in the day, right? And as
sure.
a fan, and then out of nowhere, one time Scorpio Sky tweets something, and MJF just stays in character and just has a smart ass remark. Not saying leading to a match or he's gonna talk about it on the air next week, but at least as a fan, and you see like your wrestler post something, and you see the asshole heel wrestler have a smart ass remark, like he would say if they interacted, on in the ring or on camera. As a fan, I like that shit. Call me a loser, but I enjoy to be
No,
entertained. I
no, but I
enjoy
mean,
when
like,
people go
they do
out of
that
their
a bit.
way to entertain you, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
like
like
they
when
do.
you
Yeah,
do you want the worker and working for you to do just a bare minimum to say and staring at the clock, can't wait to get out of here because I'm paid till 4. So he's okay, I'm here till 4. Or do you want the guy that's like, oh, I'm already done my work. I'm done at 4, but I have 2 more hours left. Is there anything else you want me to do here? I really wanna, I like working. I like doing stuff. I like pushing my standard. What type
sure.
of employee do you
Well,
like? Or
well, well, just with the social media thing, like WWE have done that. They set up matches on social media. It was like Cody Rhodes and LA Knight a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week on Raw, where like they went back and forth on Twitter, and then they had a match on Raw.
Yeah,
That happens, but I think like more and
it's
more
cool.
people want to see behind the curtain. This is the
Yeah,
culture
but
that we
don't
live in.
use
We're in
terms.
2023.
But
Yeah, but I
certain
mean,
terms, like to your point, like you, that's why I was tying it together to you said, like it's not cool when they use that shit, then they talk too much about, like you said, oh, this isn't gonna be real, and
yeah, no, but yeah,
over,
my
and
thing is
this is
that
a shoot and stuff like that. There's
I don't
certain
care
words.
what they do. I don't care what they do, like in a reality show or a documentary. You can go, those are great. Like people want to see behind the scenes. That's fine, but don't do that during the program, like of the universe that exists of pro wrestling. Like if you're going to see, like like within the world of wrestling, like the show that you're watching. I don't want to see
That's what I'm
stuff
scared
being
about.
shown behind the curtain during
Yeah.
the show. Do that
Are you
afterwards, like
scared?
the
Are
reality
you
show with
scared?
AEW. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm scared about that. I was gonna say, are
Oh,
you
that's,
are you
no, that's
scared
fine.
that, that
That's not as long as it's not happening during Dynamite, it's okay. If it's like a
Yeah, but
separate
I don't want to
entity,
see
that's fine.
them try to have a blood feud, and then next month I'm gonna see the behind the scenes of them talking on the in the doctor's office there after they just tried to kill each other. Both, you know what I mean? At
Well,
least let's
as long as
wait
they don't,
5-10 years on a nice documentary or something. You have to
I say as long
freaking
as they
tell
don't show them like going over the match, I think it's okay. Everything else is fine. Like if
and
they,
not
they show
hanging
them
out
like going over,
after. And not hanging
but
out
that doesn't
after.
matter.
Some
Like
training.
I
I
let
want to see some
the only
training,
thing.
how they prepare for matches. You know what I mean? Like travel stories and shit. Like uh but I'm saying to your point, like, how soon is too soon to show them, like you said, putting together the match or hanging
That no,
out
I would
the
say no.
the night of this guy just Moxie just tried to rake his face off with barbed wire, and now they're full of blood in the back with Dr. Samson saying, yeah, the way you jumped off that thing and you caught me in my arms perfectly, it was great. I really think they bought it. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
all
people
access,
do
it's gonna
that in
be interesting to
interviews
see.
on Twitter that now anyway, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
matter
what I'm
if it's
saying.
on All
Internet
Access.
kayfabe,
People
there's
do
got to
that.
be watch MJF on a podcast. You ever see
Yeah, I know.
MJF?
He's one of
And
the
I
exceptions.
love
Yeah,
him,
that's
man.
fine, but
He's fucking amazing, man. MJF WrestleMania 40. Let's fucking go, man.
no.
Let's fucking go. But it's the only thing. It's cool. Oh, on the Cody and the WWE train. Uh, did you hear
Yeah.
about? Is it true about them? Triple H possibly retiring the two belts and bringing back the big gold championship.
I don't think so. I think that there's still the idea they want to have two champions, which, to be honest, they shouldn't,
Yeah, it's
because like they don't
confusing.
have a no, but they don't have like a big enough, or I'd say they do have a big enough roster, but I should say they don't have a roster with like value, like top contenders or people who can actually be champion on both brands. They don't have enough of that. Like, not to be mean, I love Big E. I'm using him as an example. Amazing talent, and obviously he's recovering from his neck injury, but basically the way he became world champion was like he was just done to pop a rating. That's because they had two titles. He had the briefcase. They just wanted to pop a rating. That's why they gave him the championship against Bob. They made him one against Bobby Lashley. There was no real build for him. So like honestly, it's good that he became world champion because he has all the tools to do it. But the way he became champion was only because of the brand split, and that's not the way it should have been. But maybe a better example is Jack Swagger from like 15 years ago. That should have never happened. He wasn't ready when he was champion. So when you have when you have one world champion, you're gonna have less people becoming champion, but you're gonna have the right people, I think, becoming champion. In this case, Cody is gonna be the one that has to be champion. He's the one that has to overthrow Roman. So let's hope
It
that
also it
happens.
also it confuses you a bit. Like I remember when I started keeping my eye and tuning back in here and there. It's like, hey, which one is more important? You know?
Well, they're supposed to be equally important. But the thing
Yeah,
is now
exactly.
that
But
they don't even care
yeah,
about the brand
they
split.
changed the
So what's
names.
the point of
Yeah, but
having two
back in the day, it
champions?
was the Raw. Back in the day, it was like the Raw heavyweight title and the SmackDown heavyweight title
Yeah,
or something.
WWE. It was WWE title and the world title on Raw. Yeah, like in
Yeah,
2002. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I'd rather it just be a little more tiered out. So you said, not have two world champions, have one, but like
yeah.
the brand split, I always felt was one thing was very is hard to manage.
But
Like
the thing is,
the
they
brand,
can't
I'd
even
rather just be
keep
two
up. But
shows and not brands. But you put yourself into you pigeonhole yourself into situations like that. It's like we're one company, but we have to pretend like we're two, so we have to have two titles. Why? Have like different tier titles, not to the amount like fucking like Tony Khan over there. But you know, you could
Different story.
um either way. So, but if they do bring back the big gold belt, you know, it's only going to be because that means Cody's like winning, and he wants to be that guy that comes out that night on Monday Night
Well,
Raw with
actually,
the new belt.
he wants the Eagle title that you have the right
Oh,
there.
that's the one he
The
wants.
WWF Champions. Yeah, he wants to bring that one back, Cody.
Oh yeah, it's true because yeah, his dad
The
never
winged
got it. He
eagle.
got screwed.
Yeah.
Instead, he got put in the polka dots.
I mean, that's the thing. They put him in polka dots, Dusty, as a joke. But guess what? Dusty is freaking Dusty. You can get over in anything. You could put him in, I don't know, whatever stupid outfit you want. Give him the worst music possible. Make him dance like a fool. Dusty had so much charisma that he would get over no matter what. So, jokes on them, right?
I've been at some point, perhaps the next fall, I want to do a run of watching WCW in the Jim Crockett era. I've been hearing
Yes.
is something to be watched. Up until what was it?
Yeah,
92? Was it 92 when shit went down?
early
You know,
'90s. Yeah.
what's your what's your earliest WCW memory? Like, you know, as a kid, we all have like the kind of like a couple of
Uh,
blurs, flashes of like matches you first remember.
You know what? I don't know if I have anything. I just remember Four Horsemen. That's what it always was. Like it was
It's
you know,
the four.
Mongo, like Arneson, Flair, and it's true he was in there. Benoit at a time. Yeah, that iteration of Pillman of the Four Horsemen. That's like I could just remember that. And actually, I think maybe around must have been Halloween Havoc '97. I think that was the Piper and Hulk Hogan cage match, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was that. I should probably look it up. When they called it Age in a Cage because they're old farts, right? Wrestling in a cage match. Yes, Halloween
97,
Havoc.
yeah.
I think it was '97. I'm gonna check it. Yeah, Halloween Havoc '97. That's what I can remember. I remember ordering them. I got my parents to order the pay-per-view. So around that time, for sure, I can remember WCW. And that was the one with the amazing Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio match, the mask versus title match.
That was a great era. That's a great era.
Yeah, for sure.
I think mine was a
Love
couple years
WCW.
before. I have a memory of Big Joe back in the day coming to my house to watch War Games.
Nice.
I think was a Giant in one of the War Games. I think
I don't
it was
know.
like Team
Not sure, maybe.
WCW. They were all in fucking army gear. There
Oh,
was
boy.
the three rings. Either way, that and just something about the Steiners and Rick Steiner with the stupid
Oh yeah, I love
headgear
the headgear.
that
Yeah,
I remember as a
Steiners
kid. Like,
tag team
yeah,
division. Steiners, Harlem Heat, amazing. All those matches, I love that.
Harlem Heat, amazing.
Love it.
Harlem Heat,
Yeah,
underrated, underrated. But so well, let me skip on through. See what else do we haven't spoke of that's on your mind as we wind down. You sent me a few things.
yeah. We'll take a look if there's anything else.
You got
Yeah, I guess we could talk about. I mean, it's good news for AEW with Forbidden Door. Just to just mention it briefly, but
Oh yeah.
tickets technically are going on sale tomorrow officially. But there was the pre-sale yesterday for the what is it, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and so far it looks like there's going to be a sellout. It's already 12,000 plus tickets sold. It's probably going to be set up for maybe 13, 14,000. So that's good news. Like, all the people want to say that AEW can't draw, and it is true that their attendance lately in the last year or so has been lower than the year prior. Like, let's be honest, like they haven't drawn as well as they should be. It's clear that forget about the ratings. Like,
Cassidy and
no,
and the
no, but
Elite.
like the ratings are
Young
going to
Bucks.
fluctuate. That's okay. That's fine. But would really, like, this is something people like Meltzer and other analysts have said too, is that what really tells you if a company is doing well is the live attendance, right? Like, look at WWE. Their live attendance is skyrocketed because of the bloodline angle, and it shows. AEW, they suffered a bit, but this is a good sign that they can still sell out those 10 plus, in this case 12K, 13K arenas. So it's a good sign. I imagine they had nothing announced, no matches announced. It's just the idea of knowing that last year Forbidden Door was like one of the best pay-per-views of the year, and it's going to sell out now. And it's great for Canada. It's in Toronto, so that's awesome.
I'll
Get more
add
shows
though,
in Canada.
any fans that maybe discouraged or anything, um, but don't worry, because last time this happened in AW, the sellout. I don't know if this is a Canada thing, a Toronto thing, but there's people out there that just buy up all the tickets right fucking away, which
Yeah.
skyrockets the price of the tickets after. Because I remember it happened here the day of that they went on sale. The price was crazy, the AW Toronto tickets. And day of, when we arrived in Toronto, we haven't purchased our tickets yet. The amount of tickets available online, third party sellers, to the point where we got fucking great bargain on both nights, is crazy. Like there's people that had like full inventory that morning, like calling, confirming, okay, I'll text you what I have left, and sending us like fucking like lists, like at least 3-4 guys that we actually contacted, let alone the amount of posts we found on like Marketplace, Kijiji and shit. So I have to say, for the people who want to go, I'm not saying it won't be a great crowd, because if you saw some footage we have on Jofo TV, the after show, the fans are great. But don't worry, like if the tickets are sold out right away and they're crazy prices at the beginning, take your time, because they start getting more reasonable as we get closer to the event. Is all I can say, because there's a lot of people out there that buy a fuckload of them because they know it's a hot thing, and they know people are gonna be last minute. And they think they're gonna play this system, fight the power, guys. You can get some good tickets. Don't get discouraged. But I said, I'm not knocking the ticket sales, but I'm saying there's people that did it. Like it was gross. Like I was so pumped that day. I had a good budget aside. Let me pick up these tickets. It's in a month. I go on. It was absurd, the prices. Because it was the same thing. The pre-sale was crazy, and then the morning of, like, even people were posting on Twitter the prices, and then the day of, I got fucking great price. So, guys, don't worry about that. AEW people in Toronto. We'll see. We'll see if they promote anything that'll fucking make us want to go. But we'll see. Well, let's go a little close to home before we wrap up. You mentioned here something about Mike Bailey and Will Ospreay.
Yes. Yeah. So that was one of the matches that was announced for. I don't remember which show. I think it was one of the WrestleMania weekend shows next week. I think one of the GCW shows. That was. Or no, maybe it was an Impact Multiverse of matches. I can't remember, because there are plenty of shows happening. As you know, when WrestleMania is in town, all the independent promotions are going to capitalize on that and do, of course, shows around the same time. So one of the matches that was announced was Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey, which on paper sounds insane, and I'm sure it would have been, should have been able to happen. But unfortunately, Will Ospreay is injured, and filling in for Ospreay is Hiroshi Tanahashi from New Japan. So that's going to be a crazy match. Great opportunity for Mike Bailey to wrestle, a legend, the ace of New Japan, 1 in 100. So that actually makes me want to buy the show. Honestly, I know it's on Fight TV, and there are other matches on it too. There's like Kenta versus Minoru Suzuki, Josh Alexander. Yeah, Multiverse, I think it's called. There's a.
It's actually a great.
The Impact.
It was like $7.99.
Kushida. Yeah, it's not a lot, exactly.
Well, a little intel on the saving money side of things. If you've never signed up yet, you'll get a week free. So just wait till the night of and sign up, and you'll have it free for a week. So Fight Plus, really? yeah. I watched. Oh, speaking of Fight Plus, let's just plug our boy. His ass is all over the internet. I hope you must have seen it by now. Yeah, sure. Our boy Sexy Eddie and his ass were trending this week after his match with Matt Cardona. I had a blast watching that one, and something about the way Sexy Eddie does his thing in that ring, it doesn't take you out of it. It just, you smile and you laugh, and he had a chance. So I never seen.
This is your exception.
Have you ever seen the naked moonsault?
Yes. He's been doing this for 20 years, and now people are like, "Oh."
Have you seen the Dick Flair?
Yeah.
Have you seen Sexy? Have you had a conversation with Sexy Eddie? Who doesn't love Sexy Eddie? Come on, shout out Sexy Eddie in a great performance. Almost took on the indie god Matt Cardona, But
Yeah.
unfortunately, our boy Sexy Eddie. You know what I think it was? And I think the turning point for Eddie was it was the four local, the figure four local was I think what got him. I think he took a little too heavy of a swig on that figure four local, and I think that's what made him a little step off on finishing the job on Cardona. Maybe next time, Eddie. So that was the ending of GCW IWS feud, the back to back they had. Uh, Other quick local news: we got Black Quebecois, Brad Alexis, and Jeremy Prophet are holding a seminar for NWC, local promotion here. I just saw that posted today. So anyone check it out on Facebook. Check out Brad Alexis or Jeremy Prophet or NWC. They have something going on there. If you're gonna learn, you want to learn to get some knowledge. Those two guys have over 40 years in the business combined, and we got a big Best Entertainment Wrestling event this week. Jeremy Prophet's in action defending the title. Carl Jepsen's on the card. Jeremy Prophet's against Chase Ironside. Have you ever seen Chase Ironside or heard of him?
I've heard of him, but no, I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, he was out. He came out of like a 10-year retirement. He had a couple of warm up matches, and now he's facing Jeremy this weekend. And that's pretty much it, man. There's so much more to talk about, but we can't be here all night. Any last words here on the week? What do you preview us on what's happening on SmackDown and or Rampage that you could rattle off right now, if there is anything that would make anybody want to watch any of those two shows?
Well, I guess on Rampage there's another TNT Open Challenge match with Will Hobbs against Penta El Zero Miedo. Last week was a good match. I saw most of it with where Hobbs beat Phoenix, so Ray Phoenix. So that's something should be good. And I really like the booking of Hobbs.
Was that match on TV?
It was on Rampage.
Okay, well, and the
they showed
QTV
highlights
segment,
in QTV. Yeah.
But the way they showed like that shitty fucking camera phone footage,
Yeah, I know.
I thought, but I'm like I'm saying, this would have maybe been a little tad cooler. I thought it was a match that happened at a House Rules show that they took a clip of and used for a TV storyline, which kind of makes people
but they did show
in the house shows.
They did show something from House Rules.
Well, what would they show?
Yeah, for the opening match, the 6-man tag, they showed Butcher and the Blade. Was the ending of, I think it was Orange Cassidy and was it Darby Allin? They beat Butcher and the Blade on House Rules, and then after the match, the Butcher and the Blade, they attacked Darby. They showed it like in picture in picture, or not picture in picture. Yeah, I guess like during someone's entrance. Can't remember who was coming out. So they did do something on the house show, but yeah. So there's that on Rampage. I think that's the main match that was promoted. On SmackDown, I know Cody Rhodes is going to face Ludwig Kaiser. He's one of the guys a part of Imperium with Gunther. That's going to be a good match. I think Ludwig Kaiser and even Giovanni Vinci are amazing. All of Imperium, like Gunther, like after the Bloodline, the best thing in WWE is the Imperium, and that's like without question. The booking of Gunther has been very strong, so that's going to be a good match. And I'll put it this way: this match doesn't have a lot of story, but it doesn't matter. You don't need story you can have cold matches and they can deliver. So even though there is a little
when the guys are wrestlers.
Yeah, but in this case,
like
it's going to be a good match. It doesn't matter the story.
I agree.
There's a little bit of it, but it's not like a 10-week build. Like, okay, they had something on the SmackDown Lowdown last week. Ludwig Kaiser interrupted Cody during his promo, and Cody and Gunther were the last two in the Royal Rumble, 2 months ago now. So there's a minimal story, but that's all you need, and it's television. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a good match, so just enjoy it. We have that to look forward to on SmackDown. Well, and I'm sure we'll talk more about WrestleMania next week as we get closer.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed this. Oh, and I enjoyed talking to you about everything wrestling tonight. Let's leave it with one last story here. Another announcement in the induction to the Hall of Fame this week. Do you know who it is?
Yes, I know who he is. Andy Kaufman,
Andy Kaufman,
man on
announced
the
to the Hall
move.
of Fame. One question. No disrespect to the late Andy Kaufman and Jerry the King Lawler for that feud that brought pop culture and everything and believability to wrestling in that time. But how in the hell is Andy Kaufman nominated or not nominated, being inducted into WWE Hall of Fame before Jacques Rougeau and his brother Raymond? How like for the amount of people now in the WWE Hall of Fame, how is Jacques Rougeau? How is Jacques Rougeau not in the Hall of Fame? What are your
I
thoughts
mean,
on this?
it's a booking, right? The Hall of Fame. It all depends on who's available and like who's on good terms with WWE. So it's like a wrestling. I look at the Hall of Fame. It's like a when they do like a legend signing or convention event.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's a booking. So it
WrestleCon or
all
whatever.
yeah, exactly. It all depends on who's on good terms. So it'll come. They can't put everyone. I know now, like more and more each year since the pandemic, they've been putting less people at a time. So I think they've only been having five or so inductees. So maybe that's could affect it as well. But definitely
Well,
the Rougeau brothers, yeah, they'll hopefully get their due one of these
let's
years.
get it trending. Rougeau's for Hall of Fame. Let's get this going. It's been too long. Jacques deserves it. Ray deserves it. The fans deserve it. Hulk Hogan endorsed. Many other Hall of Famers endorsed Jacques Rougeau. We endorse him, and we endorse you guys for coming out. Alex, it's been a pleasure. We'll see what
Likewise, bro.
ragtag band of characters show up next week for the show. You never know what's gonna happen when we go live. That's what we do here. Jofo in the Ring every Thursday night. Jofo in the Ring podcast Tuesdays, and much more shit right here on the Jofo in the Ring channel. It's not shit. It's content. It's good. I promise. I don't lie. Alex, it's a pleasure. Peace.
Yeah, yeah.